Good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Madhusudan Bele, Sri Vasantrao Naik Mahavidyalaya, Dharni. In this lecture, we will discuss about energy flow in ecosystem and the food chain. So, what is the energy flow? So, energy flow is the movement of energy through an ecosystem. It is one of the fundamental process common to all the ecosystem. So, the energy is the main component which is required to do work, and the source of energy required by all the living organism is the chemical energy of their food. The chemical energy is obtained by the conversion of the radiant energy of. So the chemical energy stored in the food of living organism is converted into the potential energy. So this energy flow in ecosystem is based on two important laws of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics and the second law of thermodynamics. According to the first law of thermodynamics, the amount of energy in the universe is constant. It may change from one form to the another one, but it can neither be created nor be destroyed. So the light energy can be neither created nor be destroyed as it passes through the atmosphere. However, it can be transformed into the another type of energy such as chemical energy or the heat energy. The low light energy of ecosystem is converted into the potential energy of food by the producers. Now the second law of thermodynamics states that non-random energy such as mechanical, chemical and radiant energy cannot be changed without some degradation into the heat energy. The change of energy from one form to the another takes place in such a way that a part of energy assumed waste. The energy accumulated by the producer passes on consumers in the form of eating. Due to that, there is a loss of energy. That is, capacity of energy to perform work is decreased. And this gradual decrease of energy or the loss of energy is called as a entropy. So, energy flow in ecosystem. Many ecologists use three models to illustrate energy flow and feeding relationship in ecosystem. So first one is food chain, second one is food web, and third one is pyramids. Now we will discuss about the food chain. What is a food chain? In ecosystem, the sequential transfer of matter and energy from plant to animal and from animal to animal. The green plant alone are able to trap a solar energy and convert into the chemical energy. And this chemical energy is trapped into the plant as organic compound such as carbohydrate, proteins and the fats. So the food manufactured by the green plant is utilized by the herbivores such as grasshopper called as the primary consumers. And herbivores fall prey to some carnivores such as mice. It's called as the secondary consumers. Like this, one form of life supports the other form of life. Thus, food from one trophic level reaches to the another trophic level. And this is known as a food chain. In this diagram, we will see how these producers produce their own food from the solar energy, and on that organic compound which are produced by the producers, the prey or the grasshopper or the first consumer. In this diagram, food chain in any ecosystem runs directly in which green plants are eaten by the herbivores, herbivores are eaten by the carnivores, and carnivores are eaten by the top carnivores. And these top carnivores, after their death, they are decomposed by the decomposers such as bacteria and the fungus. And these decomposers forms nutritive materials from that top carnivores and return to the producers. The food chain are of two types: grazing food chain and the detritus food chain. So the grazing food chain, it starts from green plant that makes food for herbivores and herbivores as a food for carnivores and so on. This is called as a grazing food chain. So the grazing food chain starts from green plant and forms autotrophs, and it goes to the herbivores called as the primary consumers, to the primary carnivores, and then to the secondary carnivores, and so on. Now the second type of food chain is a detritus food chain. This food chain starts from dead organic matter, make food for detritivore, and which make food for small carnivores. And these small carnivores serves as a food for top carnivores, and so on. Means the dead organic remains including metabolic waste and exclude derivatives from grazing food chain. The energy contained in detritus is not lost in ecosystem as a whole. Rather, it serves as a source of energy for a group of organisms called as detrivores that are separate from the grazing food chain. The food chain so formed is called as a detritus food chain. So the waste from one organism can be immediately utilized by a second one, which repeats the process. So the complex organic molecule present in the organic waste or dead tissue are broken down to much simpler compound. So in detritus food chain, diagram shows the fallen leaves or decomposing animal, which is decomposed by the decomposed, and the organism in detritus food chain are many and include algae, fungi, bacteria, small modules, actinomides, and protozoa. Detritus organism ingest a piece of decomposed organic matter, digest them partially, and after extracting some of the chemical energy in the food to run their metabolism. In this diagram, the fallen leaves or decomposing animal were decomposed by detritivores, for example earthworm, and these earthworm serves a food for the small carnivores like birds, and these birds are serves a food for top carnivores like kite. And after the death of that kite, these decomposers decompose the dead body of that kite, and food chain runs continuously. This is about the food chain. Thank you.